Hey, you guys, I don't know if you guys were following this story with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez back in 2020 when I believe she got shot in her foot. Well, it looks like we got the answer to that whole mess today from usatoday.com. Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years in prison for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Rapper Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the 2020 shooting. The sentence for the 31-year-old Canadian rapper, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, was handed down Tuesday after several delays. Lanez was given about 10 months of credit for time he served since his conviction in December. I don't know, man. 10 months is kind of nothing to 10 years. Judge David Harryford was expected to deliver Lanez's sentence on Monday, but the proceedings turned into a marathon 2-day session after the judge had attorneys for both sides argue each factor of his potential sentence and allowed 7 witnesses, including Lanez's father and the mother of his 6-year-old son, to give statements on behalf of Lanez. Megan also issued a victim impact statement Monday, read by Deputy District Attorney Kathy Ta, stating she will never be the same. Lanez's sentencing hearing was originally scheduled for January, but was rescheduled when he hired new attorneys and again after his legal team filed a motion for a new trial. The motion was denied in May. Let's see. Tory Lanez asked judge for mercy, says he still cares for Megan Thee Stallion to this day. Tory Lanez asked the judge for mercy just before he delivered his sentence. Lanez, who said at Tuesday's sentencing that he took full responsibility for everything I did wrong that night, requested either probation or a minimal prison sentence. If I could turn back the series of events that night and change them, I would. The victim was my friend. The victim is someone I still care for to this day. Hereford said it was difficult to reconcile the kind, charitable person and good father many people described Lanez as being during the sentencing hearing with the person who fired the gun at Megan. Sometimes good people do bad things, the judge said. Actions have consequences, and there are no winners in this case. Lanez's sentencing brings an end to a dramatic trial that created a cultural firestorm in the hip-hop community, churning up issues including the reluctance of Black victims to speak to the police, which I believe Megan had said in an interview that she didn't want to talk about it for a long time, or she was scared to report it. Gender politics in hip-hop, online toxicity, protecting Black women, and the ramifications of misogyny. Is it misogyny? I don't know. The spelling looks weird to me. A particular brand of misogyny Black women experience. I hope that Miss Pete's bravery gives hope to those who feel helpless. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon said of Megan at a news conference after the sentencing. Megan Thee Stallion has not experienced a single day of peace after Tory Lanez shot her, she says in written statement. In a written statement Monday, Megan Thee Stallion said she has suffered daily since Lanez shot her in the feet 3 years ago. Since I was viciously shot by the defendant, I have not experienced a single day of peace, Megan said in a statement read by Ta. Slowly but surely, I'm healing and coming back, but I will never be the same. I actually just said to somebody recently, I was like, what happened to Megan Thee Stallion? Does she even have new music coming out? Because when she came out with a freaking bang. Girl got some beats and girl knows how to freaking spit her game. I love Megan Thee Stallion. Lanez was found guilty of 3 felonies: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. You guys could read it for yourself. I'm having trouble pronouncing things today. In December, for leaving the rapper wounded with bullet fragments in her feet. Megan, who testified during the trial, said she struggled with whether she could appear to give the statement in person, but she said she simply could not bring myself to the room with Tory again. She asked that her absence not be taken as a sign of indifference and urged the judge to issue a stiff sentence. Tory Lanez gets support at sentencing, hearing from, Iggy Azalea and dad Sonstar Moore. Let's see. Lanez's father grew emotional in court Monday as he described his son losing his mother at 11. Sonstar Peterson, Christian minister, choked back tears as he talked about his wife. I don't want to say this wrong. Luella, dying just a few days after showing the first symptoms of a rare blood disorder. Yeah, that's rough. I don't think anybody gets over that, said Peterson about Daystar's reaction, but his music became his outlet. He's got some catchy shit out there, so I give him that. Several others gave statements on Lanez's character and charitable giving. Dozens more wrote letters to Hereford, including the mother of Lanez's young son, who spoke of his qualities as a father, and rapper Iggy Azalea, who asked Hereford to hand down a sentence that was transformative, not life-destroying. I didn't even know they were friends. The judge said Lanez's son, who was about 6 years old, also wrote him a handwritten letter, but he did not describe it further. Now, what did Tory Lanez do? Jury found him guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. The jury of 7 women and 5 men deliberated for a day and a half before convicting Lanez. Following months of speculation and publicity surrounding the incident, prosecutors charged Lanez with felony assault in October 2020. Lanez pled not guilty in November 2020. The Canadian rapper's shooting trial began December 12th of 2022, more than 2 years after Megan Thee Stallion accused the R&B artist of inflicting great bodily injury towards her. In a criminal complaint, prosecutors said Lanez fired a gun at a victim identified as Megan P. after she got out of an SUV during an argument in the Hollywood Hills on July 12th, 2020. Megan's legal name is Megan P. Let's see. Tory Lanez sentencing postponed. Megan Thee Stallion describes mental distress. Prosecutors want Tory Lanez to serve 13 years. Defense attorneys push for probation and sentencing memos. So, on June 6th, Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon submitted a sentencing memo recommending Lanez be sentenced to 13 years in the state prison. The district attorney's office also cited his lack of remorse as a basis to deny probation. Yeah, well, if he was going around and talking shit or acting really like he didn't care, because let's be real, obviously at sentencing he was going to care. But if they saw these actions, in the midst of time before the sentencing, yeah, I could see them being like, no, he's not going to learn with probation. So he needs to learn a lesson. In the 12-page memo, first reported and obtained by reporter Megan Kniff, prosecutors wrote, the defendant has failed to exhibit any remorse, which begs the question whether any of the apologies he directed to the victim, Megan, and his text message and jail call were genuine and not just driven by an effort to maintain her silence or to look good. You know what I mean? Except for the jail call admission and his apology text to the victim back in July 2020, the defendant has spent nearly 3 years since that time wagging a campaign of misinformation to re-traumatize the victim, prosecutors continued. So in other words, I guess whenever he was talking about it or made a statement about it, or even to his buddies, which it travels to back to Megan. I mean, rappers, they're all in the same groups and cliques and they all talk to each other. But he's said it out in the public where that wasn't the case. It's not what she says. It wasn't like that. It was an accident. So the past 3 years, he's been playing this game, which makes Megan feel like people think I'm a liar. People think this, blah, 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 blah. So he hasn't really showed remorse or that he cares or gives a fuck at all. In the sentencing memo, Gaskin and Deputy District Attorneys Kathy Ta and Alexandra Bott said Lanez not only lacks remorse, he is clearly incapable of accepting any responsibility for his own actions, which is funny because they were saying earlier that now at the sentencing, he was saying that he takes full responsibility. Of course you do at now, because you don't want to go to jail. The prosecutors referenced Lanez's claims about the incident on social media and his full-length album with several songs about the shooting as examples. Holy shit. I didn't know that. His online reach is worldwide, millions of followers plus casual observers, and the defendant's statements embolden his followers so that they too have been complicit in re-traumatizing the victim. Yeah, I mean, some people probably that were team Tory Lanez probably were harassing or saying nasty comments to Megan or on her social media. It wouldn't surprise me. Lawyers for Lanez said in their own sentencing memo that he should get only probation and be released from jail to enter a residential substance abuse program. Yeah, that's not going to do it. He thought he was badass with a GUN, waving it around and talking shit and being mean to a woman and being threatening. Yeah. He thinks he's hot shit. They say the evidence that led to his conviction was questionable at best, and that his lack of remorse should therefore not be a factor in his sentencing. Fuck that! Oh my God. His lack of remorse should be more of a reason why his sentencing should be rough on him. I mean, people make accidents, people do stupid things and whatnot, but look, they said his apologies and him saying sorry were not genuine. So that tells you something. He's not fucking sorry. So he didn't learn his lesson. Now he's going to learn. Oh my God. The memo also says if the allegations were true, then alcohol abuse and childhood trauma would be factors. It goes into Megan took the stand on December 13th to testify she saw Lanez fire the handgun at her foot in the summer of 2020. She said tensions escalated between them during a car ride after leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Why are they hanging out with Kylie Jenner? She says Lanez had an attitude because she had asked to leave the party early. The rapper added, Lanez then told her she needed to stop lying to friend Kelsey Harris, who was also in the car, about their past sexual relationship. What the hell is going on? The pair traded barbs over their respective music careers, Megan said, prompting her asking to be let out of the vehicle. However, as she began to walk away from the car, Megan said she heard Lane say, "Dance." And then it says expletive, but it was like "dance, bitch, dance," or some shit, as the singer shot her. "I'm in shock. I'm scared. I hear a gun going off, and I can't believe he's shooting at me," Megan said. "He was holding the gun, pointing it at me." After getting back in the car, Megan said Lanes promised her and Harris $1 million to keep quiet about the assault. Megan said she refrained from initially reporting the shooting to police, citing heightened tension surrounding police brutality at the time. So she was scared to say anything, not just because it was police, but also he's trying to hush her with hush money. So he's probably playing off that he's this badass dude. Like, I got my boys. They'll be watching you. You'll never have a #1 hit ever again if you open your mouth. Some crap like that. Ridiculous. Grow up. Let's see. This was the height of police brutality and George Floyd. Oh, yeah, that was right. 2020. And if I said this man just shot me, I didn't know if they might shoot first and ask questions later. Megan explained, adding that in the Black community, it's not really acceptable to be cooperating with police officers. And that's where they left it. So, sucks to be you, Tory Lanez, but you should have thought about having that even with you when you're drinking and partying. Don't you have a security guard? Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm Leenda, and that's For the Record, Your Honor.